The constrained vision sees market economies as responsive to systemic forces, the interaction of innumerable individual choices and performances. The unconstrained vision argues that this is not how the economy operates, that it is currently obeying the power of particular interests and should therefore be made in future to obey the power of the public interest.
Yes.
Close quote. Explain that.
Well, they imagine that they can define the public interest by themselves. Whereas in a market, each individual defines his own interests himself and acts accordingly and interacting with other people and accommodating other people and competing with other people.
All right, a couple of quotations here. This time I'm not going to contrast McCain with Obama. I'm going to begin with a quotation. Here it is. We who live in free market societies believe that growth, prosperity, and ultimately human fulfillment are created from the bottom up, not the government down. Let our banner proclaim our belief in a free market as the greatest provider for the people, close quote. Ronald Reagan.
Yes, I thought so.
You did, all right. Now, John McCain on September 15th. The American people are being threatened today because of greed and corruption that some engaged in on Wall Street and that we have got to fix, close quote. What do you make of what's going on in the Republican Party?
Well,
From Reagan to McCain.
Decline. When people ask me why am I going to vote for McCain rather than Obama, it's because I prefer disaster to catastrophe.
All right. You're not supposed to throw things at me from which I have to use valuable time to recover, Tom. All right. And here, listen to an exchange between Barack Obama and Joe Wurzelbacher, now known universally as Joe the Plumber. This took place on October 11th. Joe the Plumber. Your new tax plan is going to tax me more, isn't it? Barack Obama. It's not that I want to punish your success. I just want to make sure that everybody who's behind you, that they've got a chance to success too. I think when you spread the wealth around, it's good for everybody. Close quote. What do you make of that one?
Oh, I think it's classic left ideology. And by the way, he wants to spread Joe the Plumber's wealth around. He's not spreading his wealth around. We all know about his half-brother in Africa who is living in dire poverty. It's been fascinating to me, these various people who want to spend the taxpayers' money, but who, when it comes to charitable giving and so forth on their own, have no idea of doing that. I don't know if you're familiar with the study that's been done of liberals and conservatives donating money and giving time as volunteers and donating blood and so on. And contrary to what everybody expected, the conservatives do more of all of those things. The study showed that if everyone donated blood at the same rate at which conservatives donate blood, there'd be 45% more blood donated in the United States than there is.
And also, weren't you struck by the Joe Biden's tax forms when they were released? He's had an income that's roughly triple that of Sarah Palin, and yet his charitable contributions have been much smaller. Much smaller
absolutely, absolutely.
Right. Let me try with John McCain one more time. Two assertions he made in the very same 5-minute radio talk. This is both come from Radio Talk on October 18th. Quote, at least in Europe, the socialist leaders who so admire my opponent are upfront about their objectives. Raising taxes on some in order to give checks to others is not a tax cut. It's just another government giveaway. Close quote. Excuse me, this is not from the radio talk, but it's from a rally he gave on the same day. And he was talking about the need to address the financial crisis by buying up mortgages. Quote, we need to give you a mortgage that you can afford so you can realize the American dream of owning your home, close quote. So which vision does John McCain represent?
He represents whichever one occurs there at the moment.
All right.
It's, he has what Thorstein Veblen called a versatility of convictions.
All right. But here's the argument. The argument would be, look, John McCain's in a tight spot. He's trailing. He's fundamentally the constrained vision. That is to say, he fundamentally supports free markets. And his record shows an overwhelming majority of the times where there's a vote in Congress that can be recorded as free market or anti-free market, he's on the free market side. He's maneuvering here. Be realistic, Tom Sowell. Politicians have to do that. Cut the man a little slack.
Well, if I were in his camp, perhaps I would say that. My job is not to cut him any slack. My job is to inform the people who read what I have to say. All right.